Talking all things entertainment, this is Sherri Pullum in the studio with Dreamers Unite. The show must go on with dancer and author Olivia Summer Hutcherson. Hey Dreamers, and welcome back to Dreamers Unite in the studio. That's right, I am always happy to be here with you. I'm grateful and honored every time you come to this channel to spend time with moi. And you know, we're in the studio, and in the studio means we're talking everything entertainment. That's right, we're gonna leave no stone unturned. Today we're gonna focus on dance and an inspiring journey. I have been trying to get this guest on for a while. She is, busy. She's got a great dance schedule going on. She's sought after. Her name is Olivia Summer Hutcherson. And wow, you're going to be so inspired, really and truly. She is, her name Summer fits her because she's a breath of fresh air. She's a bright light. She is a dancer, a poet, an author, a speaker, and she's also a thriver after being a cancer survivor. We are so thrilled and honored. I am. I really think I already need a Kleenex box. I really do. Crew, stand by. I'm going to need some Kleenex or some tissue. And I just can't wait to chat with you and for you to share your story with us today. So welcome, Olivia, at last.
That was quite the intro.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really humbled, and just thank you for having me.
I am privileged and honored and humbled to really have you. We met probably about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, kind of at the height of your dancing at the time, your career going and booming. So let's take it back first from the beginning. Okay. Tell us about your dance journey first.
Yeah, so I started kicking the moment I was in the womb. My mom used to put headphones on her stomach, and I was just kicking from the jump. But really, my dance path started when I was 7. My mom used to teach ballroom dancing as a side hustle. She was working in the hospital by day and teaching at Fred Astaire by night. And so I would try to copy on the sidelines. But around the age of 8, it became more serious. And I was already doing competitions on the weekend as an 8-year-old kid. I was traveling and wearing these really fancy dresses, and I just thought I was too cool for school. By the time I was 13, I had gotten into a performing arts school, and that's really where my dance career, I know it sounds funny saying that for a 13-year-old, but that's really where my horizon started to expand, because that's where I got introduced to all styles. So I started taking ballet, modern, jazz, hip hop, and even other art styles, acting, singing, creative writing, you name it, I did it. And it just kind of expanded on and on and on. Fast forward, when I was 16, my mom, my brother, and I moved to Jersey, and I started working at Broadway Dance Center, not as an instructor, but as a work study, just so I could take classes. It was my dream to work there one day, which I eventually would, but I had to earn my stripes around there. And so I took lots of classes. I eventually got an agent, and that led me to performing with different artists, such as Jennifer Lopez, Madonna. I got to dance for Flo Rida, and then later...
Wait, let me just stop you right there, okay? She's just so casual about it, right?
I'm trying to
casual.
like bullet point it.
Yeah. But really, to go from, this young girl, like, what were you, 13, 14? You were 16 at this time. Yeah. But 16 and having that incredible opportunity to live your dream. Obviously, you are really talented, gifted dancer, and obviously a hard worker. Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to, kind of punctuate that. Yeah. And so you obviously had a natural gift. How did you start dancing, start to get that kind of recognition?
Yeah, it's a great question. I believe that I had that work ethic instilled into me from my mom and also my grandmother. Like, nothing was handed to me, nothing was given to me. If you wanted something, you had to work for it. And it's something that it was just, I didn't even think about it. It was just ingrained into me. I couldn't afford to take classes when my family and I got to New Jersey. So I understood. I was like, if this is something you want, you're going to have to go and get it. I would literally count my quarters to take the bus. And I was 16 and all my peers were like hanging out after school. And I was like, do I have enough quarters to take the bus to go to New York? And then I would go, I would work the front desk, I would wash the mirrors, I would be cleaning up the bathroom. Wow. But at the end of the week, I could take my classes, and I don't say that to, pat myself on the back or sound like Cinderella, but like I knew from a very young age that was my passion. So, when you're passionate about something, nothing will stop you.
Okay. You don't know this yet, Olivia, but on this show, we catch a lot of nuggets. I do, from my guests. And that's just worth just stopping for a minute. When you are passionate about something, I'm going to put it over to Olivia now because what?
Nothing will stop you.
Nothing will stop you. And that's why I wanted to kind of highlight that point. You said it's wonderful working with all those celebrities. But I know it had to take a lot of grit and hard work. And so I wanted you to, let's unpack that a little bit. So dreamers out there, you don't think, oh, that sounded like it was so easy. She was 16 and boom, there she was. All of a sudden, came here to New Jersey and wow, she's with J-Lo and Madonna already.
No. I mean, now it all feels like a whirlwind, but back then there was a lot of sacrifice that went into it. And I didn't have many friends in high school. And I had my blinders on. I was just like, I want to dance. I want to make it. And I knew that took a lot of hard work and sacrifice. And that's it. I was just on my journey. So,
yeah. And you made it. I mean, obviously you were making it in a really big way. And all of a sudden you get this screeching halt diagnosis with breast cancer. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of like, I don't want to take too much time, but it basically was like, let's put it like this. From 16 to 26, it was 10 years of keeping my head down and working, and I did that in New York, and I also did that in California, and I could sit here all day with you and tell you all the studios I went to and all the people I worked with, and it wasn't always easy, and I didn't always book the job, I want to be transparent about that. There were a lot of no's along the way, but there were a lot of yeses too. But for 10 years, I was on that ride. And then on my 26th birthday, I happened to be dancing with Madonna in New York. And it was literally the day of my birthday. And I noticed something was off. Mm-hmm. And I was waking up that entire week of my birthday with like really bad night sweats. Wow. And I happened to think that it was from training so hard. Mm-hmm. She had some bizarre expectations. Like we had to dance in a studio with 85 degrees And so I was thinking maybe my body's responding to this.
I would think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But it turned out I went to the doctor, and I had breast cancer. And it was like my world just stopped. You know, even to this day, I look back and I'm like, no, they had the wrong girl.
Yeah.
They had the wrong girl. I was in the peak of my fitness. I had no family history. I had never been a smoker. And to be honest with you, even the doctor told me initially to go home and rest, that I was just overdoing it.
Wow.
Yeah. But I advocated for myself, which I always tell people to do. You know, if you know something's wrong and you know your body, advocate for yourself. So I went back to the doctor, and they wound up running a mammogram, and they did find something was wrong. And time just stopped.
Yeah.
You know? Time just stopped, and my entire world turned upside down. I wound up having a 15-hour surgery. I lost my hair. I did 4 rounds of chemo, and that was just the warm-up.
Yes.
For what was ahead.
I can't even imagine. And we just have like your journey is so inspiring. I watched a little piece of the video, and I want to share that.
Yeah.
A little piece of that clip of where your world actually starts to change drastically and dramatically.
Yeah, sure.
But there's something that happens on the other side of that in this video. So I'm going to take a look at the video.
My beautiful life came to an abrupt halt. Then the treatment started, and the needles, and the tests, and the chemo. It was hard, but I'm a warrior. So I fought, and I fought, and I fought. And I won.
And she won. And you won. I am so grateful that you won.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is that part right there, that I fought and I fought and I fought. I think for all of us, whether you're you're diagnosed with cancer, or some other kind of illness, or whether you're just fighting other kind of challenge or climbing a mountain. We talked about that offline a little bit, that fighting part, and you're like, I'm a warrior. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that fight, that grit that you had.
Yeah. I feel like for me, learning how to fight, and this might sound counterintuitive, was just really learning how to surrender. I think being a dancer for most of my life, and kind of like what I just mentioned, watching very strong women in my life, where it's like, you want something, go get it. You need something, go do it. Mm-hmm. My body is my instrument. I was so used to this like hustle mentality, and like always using my body to just push forward. And for the first time in my life, my body betrayed me. And I had to tap into my spirit, and I had to just say, Lord, here I am. And I don't understand this, but I'm going to trust you. And I really had to just get on my knees and just give it to him. And until you really, really bow your knee, you don't fully understand what that surrender is.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the battle position.
Yes.
That's the battle position. Because anyone can stand up and go, I'm a fighter, I'm a fighter, I'm a fighter. But I don't view that as strength anymore. Like, you're not a tough guy. But somebody who can bow their knee and say, I don't got it. I'm not in control. Nobody has it figured out. Life will crush you in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
You could be on top today and on the bottom tomorrow. Yeah. You could be a millionaire and lose it all in 1 second. You could have your health and it could be gone. You know, and from that first moment, I thought it, like, I had this one and done mentality. And then I was cancer-free for 4 years. And then it came back a second time, spread to my bones. Then it came back a third time, spread to my bones. My doctor looked me dead in the face and said, you're treatable but not curable. I said, I rebuke that. I don't receive that. I'm already healed. I'm already healed. And literally proved him wrong. And God bless that man. But I don't receive that. I serve a different God.
Yes.
And I have chills talking about it right now.
I have goosebumps too.
Because I just got 2 reports in a row, back to back. And both of them showed no evidence of disease. 6 months in a row, stable. No cancer in my body.
That's a hallelujah praise moment right there.
And I'm sorry to talk so much, but it's like,
yeah,
like my heart just beats so strong every day, not because I dance for J-Lo, but because I'm alive. And it's nothing against J-Lo, but it's like, it's just such a miracle to be alive. You know?
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You know, first of all, listen, I'm a believer too, and I have faith too, but you know, your faith was tested. Tested. And, you know, to have that power and surrender is really beautiful to witness, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful testimony.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much for that. And you are a gift. And what you said, it's just the power of being alive.
Yeah.
And not just but living in your purpose. And that's what you continue to do, is to live in your purpose. Olivia, you are a champion. And like you said, it's not about dancing with all the celebrities. However, that is a beautiful thing. It's part of your path. It's part of your journey. But also, I think for you, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that you've discovered an even greater purpose and an even greater journey. So tell us a little about the poetry book.
Yeah. So I wrote the poetry book during a time where I couldn't get out of bed. I never thought in a million years I would be writing poetry. I used to write it when I was a kid, just for fun, but it would just stay under my bed. And it's called The Show Must Go On. Very typical of an artist, right? But it's just funny how, it's funny. I don't want to say how one door closes and another one opens, because I'm still dancing and I'm still teaching. But it's like things have like one thing has just continued to lead to another and another and another, and there's been this domino effect. So when I couldn't get out of bed because of the surgeries and because of the chemo, I started writing, and that's really how the poetry started. And it was just a cathartic way for me to be able to express myself. And eventually I thought, you know, I like to speak also. So then I created the audio book, but then I was like, I'm also musical, and I have all these musical friends. So I was like, why don't we set the poetry to music? So now it's not just an audio book, it's poetry set to music. And then I was like, but I like to perform also. So let's do poetry readings with the music. You know, and it's endless.
Yeah, listen, you're a lady after my own heart. I say, do it all while you can, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. So one of the things I want to ask you about in that video I saw, you said, if I'm not my body, if I'm not my hair, then who am I? So Who are you, Olivia?
I'm a child of God.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that a few years ago, but I know that with every ounce of my being now.
And a beautiful, beautiful soul, child of God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Inside and out.
Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just, being 26 and losing your hair, losing your eyelashes, losing your eyebrows, losing your breasts, losing the ability to have children, losing time, losing relationship with men, just losing, just feeling like you're just constantly losing after you've had a lifetime of winning by society standards. It's like if you don't find a rock to stand on with a firm foundation, you will not know who you are. And I would not wish what I've been through on anyone, but the lessons I've learned along the way, no one can ever take it from me. And it's like, I do know who I am. I do know where I stand, and I know what my convictions are, and I was so lost before all of this. It's not that I was like bad. It's just that I was empty.
That's powerful.
I was empty.
That's powerful.
I did think I was my body. I did think I was my hair. I did think I was as good as my last dance routine. And that's not, it's fulfilling in the moment, but you're just always looking for that next high.
Right.
Instead of like my soul. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yes, I do.
It's like what you're doing here. Like, this is soul work. This is soul work.
Thank you for recognizing
You're
that.
touching people's soul. And it's like even the art I do now, like my poetry or my dancing, there's nothing wrong with dance. There's nothing wrong with music. There's nothing wrong with poetry. But I just operate from a different space now. I operate from a space of, am I touching your soul? Am I working for the kingdom or the culture? Because I can tell you before it was for the culture.
Got you. And now you have truly found you are working for the kingdom. And that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. I want to ask, okay, I'm just going to hold it up too.
Yes.
Yeah. Here it is. I have to get my autographed copy.
Yes, that is your autograph. Well, I have to autograph it, but that's your copy.
Yes, well, I was going to purchase it somewhere.
No, that's for you.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this. She's bringing me a gift.
Yes.
Okay. Where can people find this?
The Show Must Go On is currently available on Amazon, and the audio music book is on my website, www.olivialivestrong.com, and that is LIV.
Yes, and I can't wait to take a deep dive into it. And you're right. We all have that. I certainly have that mentality too, like the show must go on. And you know what? We are so grateful, Olivia, that your show is going on. I hope production design don't get me. Okay, I'm going to try to put that back at the perfect spot. And we're just grateful that you're going to go on and on and on. I cannot wait to have you on again and journey with you. I know you said you have maybe a movie in the works. You're writing your story. Before we switch over to our next segment, though, I want to ask one last question for the dancers that are out there. Is what is an offering that you can give, if this is the path that you want and you're passionate about dance, is there a particular style, a foundation that they should start with? What do you think is the best offering that you can give, a young dancer out there?
Yeah. my younger self fought this all along the way, but to this day, I'm kicking myself for not being more involved. I wish I would have taken more ballet classes. I was not having it when I was a kid, but I really, really, really highly recommend more ballet for every dancer. But honestly, just whatever you're passionate about, do that. Because it's like what I started with is what I'm going to finish with. Whatever you're passionate about, you will be relentless with, you know. So just go after what you're passionate about and get to ballet.
And get to ballet.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay, and so one last thing. What is probably, you already said, you know, there was a lot of no's, you know, and for every no, there is a yes, but you got to keep going to get to the yes.
Correct.
But what would you say is some of the really toughest parts about being a dancer? And how do you overcome it?
Yeah. I think you have to grow a thick skin, and you can only do that by showing up. You know, if you continue to hide yourself, then you're never going to be able to grow that thick skin. So show up to the class, show up to the gym, show up for your headshots, show up for the reel, show up for the makeup class. Like, being a dancer is so much more than just taking the dance class. Like, you have to show up for you, and you have to be well versed in so many things. Like, people don't realize that being a dancer is so many things. Like, you have to come correct, is what I'm saying. Like, you need to, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's like, you don't show up at an audition without a headshot. You don't show up without having a bag full of multiple types of dance shoes. You don't show up without having your makeup done right, your hair done right, multiple outfits. So just come correct and show up and keep showing up. And if you get 99 no's, don't worry, that yes is coming. And it only takes one yes to change your life.
Okay, here's another nugget moment, because that's exciting. Okay, first of all, show up, okay? Come correct, and it only takes one yes, just one, to change your life. Let me catch that nugget. I'm going to catch it at the two. Boom. There you go. There you go.
And
dreamers.
be on time.
Yeah, and don't forget to be on time. Okay. Yeah, and be on time. You know what? That is such, like, all those words of wisdom. You all should be taking notes. You need to be playing this over and over again. And I just thank you so much for, you know, sharing your journey with us, and for sharing your life with us, and for giving so much. And we can't wait to see more and more of what you're going to be doing. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is there's a question that someone's going to be asking. So we are going to go to our Dreamers questions.
Hi, my name is Sierra, also known as Cece. I'm a junior at Montclair State University. I have watched Miss Olivia's journey and been supporting her through thick and thin. I just wanted to say I have so much gratitude for being able to have this opportunity. And I have been one of Miss Olivia's former dance students for about 6 years. She is a ray of sunshine every time she walks through the room. A question that I had for Miss Olivia was, how is it like dancing for J-Lo?
We had to find one of your students, okay? We had to.
Okay, J-Lo's popular discussion today. So I danced for J-Lo when I was 16, and then again when I was 26. I told you, it was like a 10-year run of just craziness for me. So when I was 16, I danced for her at a live show in New York, and I can tell you she was kind to the dancers, but she was probably one of the most just intense, get to it, no nonsense, like chop chop. There was no social time, no playing around, just come in, do what you got to do. She did not rehearse with us. It was just kind of no nonsense. And then, interestingly, at 26, we did a Fly Girl tribute on 106 in Park. And she was flying in from LA, and she was actually supposed to dance with us. And because her flight was late, she refused to go on stage with us because she was not well enough prepared.
Wow.
Which I actually respected, and it was a big learning moment for me. And I was 26, actually. This was right before I danced for Madonna. That's how I remember. It was like a note to self moment, because I thought a star that big would not go on stage because she wasn't prepared. And I took that as a note to self, like preparation is everything. So yeah, and it was two very extremes. It was like, because I remembered her being so on top of things the previous time, and then this time, because she wasn't prepared enough, she wouldn't go on stage.
Wow.
But she did watch us. She came out, she watched us, she did her interview, but she wouldn't go on stage because she didn't feel like she was prepared enough.
Wow.
So
That is shout out to you, J-Lo.
yeah.
Yeah. No nonsense, but make sure you are prepared.
Yep.
That's a beautiful story, and I think many others can
I
learn
think
from it.
that video is still floating around somewhere on YouTube. It was the Fly Girl tribute to J-Lo on 106 in Park, and that had to be around 2015.
Okay, check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I like that. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to definitely check it out. I'm
Yeah.
going to. And we're probably going to post it too once we check it out.
Yeah.
We'll try to do that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I hope that, Sierra, I hope you got your answer that you needed. And I thank you for that. And we're going to play a dream game.
Okay.
All right, so we're back. We're going to ask Olivia a few questions. We're playing our dream game.
Okay.
So we found out that you are living your childhood dream.
Yes.
Am I correct in that? So who is your greatest inspiration? What was your greatest inspiration for your dream? And who is that now?
I would have to say my mom. Yeah. My mom is my greatest inspiration.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching, children, that you'll say your mom too. In going on, reaching a dream it's not easy. We talked about that. You mentioned that you kept your blinders on and all of that. But how do you stay focused? How did you stay focused so you could reach your dream of becoming a professional dancer?
When I was coming up as a dancer, the way that I stayed focused was by surrounding myself with people who were better than me. I was always in the studio and in the gym, and I just constantly would surround myself with people who were better than me. Like, if I was 10, I would take classes with the 16-year-olds. And if I was intermediate, I would take class with the advanced kids. And I did it on purpose because I just constantly wanted to challenge myself. So I think that's one very important thing. And then as I've gotten older, obviously things have shifted, as far as like the writing, the film, the cancer journey, but things that I do now to help me stay focused, because honestly, I think it's all in alignment. I'm very big on like mind, body, spirit. Kind of just like a daily practice for me is that I always try to read my Bible. I'm big on worship music. I'm big on, we spoke about lifestyle. I try to get to the gym at least 3 to 5 times a week. And then everything else kind of falls into place. But I notice, like, if I don't set my day up that way with like prayer and worship and working out, everything else kind of falls apart. So, because like I could take care of my body, but if I'm not taking care of my spirit, I'm unbalanced, and vice versa. I could take care of my spirit, but if I'm not taking care of my body, then it's just off balance. So to answer your question, I'm just very big on balance these days.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, always surround yourself with people who are better than you in the arena, because I think as human beings we're all equals, but like in the arena that you're pushing, try to surround yourself with people who are stronger than you. Maybe that's a better word.
Right, and you're saying like more knowledgeable.
More knowledgeable.
Not better in terms of who's
Right.
higher
I gotta
or
be
who
careful
lower.
about my language.
No, you don't have to. You are doing you don't have to apologize for that. We get it.
Yeah.
And listen, you're saying people who are more knowledgeable than you
Right.
are, and that's what we should
It
be
pushes
trying
you to
do.
grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. So, okay, so we're speaking of growth. You've now grown to the point where you're getting a Dreamers Unite award. Yes.
Okay.
So this is your time. You know, oftentimes, and I say it like that because oftentimes we reach our dreams, right? And it's like, oh my goodness, we have all these people that we want to thank, right? At least you hope that you do. And this is the time that you get to thank and accept your award. So who would you like to thank?
Who would I like to thank? Gosh.
Because I think gratitude is so important.
So many people. I like to thank everybody who's loved me on my hardest days. I like to thank Jesus. He saved my life. I like to thank my mom, my brother, my medical team, and I would like to thank my students. My students gave me a reason. Oh, I'm gonna get emotional. They gave me a reason to keep getting up. Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. And I want to thank you for being here. It is like one of those moments, every time I do this question really hits people. It's like you really are in that moment, but isn't it beautiful that you get to say it now?
Yeah.
You get to say it now.
Yeah.
I thank you for that. Okay, we're going to shift out of the dream. We got one more dream question left.
Okay.
We got one more dream question left. So what's kind of on your list of what you would like to do and accomplish while you're on this planet? What's next? What's on the horizon?
I just want to serve. I just honestly want to serve. I want to share my story. And I just want to empower people. That's
I love
really
that.
it.
Yeah, I love that. And that is what you are doing. That, Olivia, you have empowered, inspired, motivated, given. And I thank you for taking the time, really, to be with me. Because her schedule is still pretty jam-packed and busy. Don't let her fool you. She's doing so much.
I always have time for you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. We want to claim and affirm that you will continue to inspire, to empower, and to rise and soar even higher.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love you and
Love
we
you
thank
too.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. Oh, yes. Dreamers, I told you this is a special show. I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming, spending time with us. And, you know, that's it for us for now. The time goes by so fast, but I want to welcome you to please and encourage you to subscribe, follow us, you know, support us, support our channel, support what we're doing here, support Olivia. Be sure to go get your book. The show must go on. Be sure to get it. Dreamers, I will see you again next time right here in the studio. Thanks again.